Hello everyone, my name is Mike. I'm a frugal plant-based cook. Speaking about the frugal thing, today I went to my favorite produce outfit and bought a whole ton of stuff for only $10. One of the things I bought was a bunch of bags of apples that had 1 or 2 rotten ones in each one, but the rest of them were perfect. So most of them I'm going to give to my son's school because the kids like a snack and some kids don't go to school with food at the junior high level and, well, obviously need something to eat. So with the rest of it, the ones that were a little bit on the, like, here's a good example right here of one. So you just cut that off and we're going to make an apple crisp today. The apples cost me $2. So if you shop around, you'll get some great deals. Luckily, you don't have to look at me while I do this. So I'm sure there's lots of people with better ways to do this, but I'll just do it the way I know how. Some people have little machines that do it. You know, it takes a little bit of effort. I think today, this day and age, people are getting a little lazy. My neighbor has skipped the dishes coming over all the time. So they must be rich, lazy, or both. I don't know which. So I've seen them there at lunch and everything else. So, okay, so just cut off the peel. Any rotten stuff off of the apple, throw it away. I'm sure there's lots of people out there faster. So I used to cook for a living, but that was almost 30 years ago now, so I guess it's a little bit like riding the bike, but certainly not for speed. All right, we're back now. I've got the apples almost cut up here, and we'll get going with making the apple crisp. Okay, so I'm not going to give you any specific amounts because, well, I don't know how many apples you have. And because, like I said, I'm the frugal guy, I'm just going to cook up. Apples and cinnamon go hand in hand. They're best friends. I like to use a little bit of nutmeg. All right, sugar. You can add a little bit or you can add a lot, depending what your taste is. We all know that processed white sugar or brown sugar isn't good for you. So I'm not going to add a whole lot. That's enough. That wasn't even a quarter cup, I don't think. The obvious is there's plenty of sugar in the apples, so you don't really need to. Some people like to add a little bit of syrup to it. You can do that if you like. So the best syrup you can add, if you're going to go do that, is maple syrup. Maple syrup is all natural, and it's not some kind of corn syrup or something. Oh, there's an apple I missed. Oh, the shame. All right, so that's all nice and mixed up. All right, we're going to put that over here. Once again, I'm not going to give you a recipe other than ingredients, especially for something like this. It's not hard to figure out. These are slow cook oats, and I got them, if you noticed, from Co-op. And because I'm like the frugal cook over here, I can tell you that I got a screaming deal on them because I wait. They're usually $6.50, but I wait till they're down to almost half price, and then I buy 6 or 7. My son and I eat oatmeal every single day for breakfast. So it's really good because there's a lot of fiber in here, and I'm adding some vanilla now. So brown sugar probably works a little better, but to be honest, I don't have any, and I like to use ingredients that I have around the house. A little bit of sugar in here. All right, so we're gonna mix this up. All right, in a traditional recipe, you might be using butter, but I haven't used oil and butter for 3 or 4 years because I used to be diabetic, and oil is the big culprit in diabetes, fat and oil. All right, and look up Dr. Esselstyn or any of the plant-based doctors that are online, and they'll tell you exactly why the oil is the bad thing around type 2 diabetes. You don't have to have it, and you don't have to take all sorts of pills and this and that. You can heal yourself, lose weight, feel better just by doing that. So that's what it looks like. All right, so now I'm gonna pan it and put it in the oven. So I got this wonderful dish, deep dish at a thrift store for $1.50. It was 75% off, and I did mention that I'm the frugal cook guy. Okay, and again, I've been on a plant-based diet now for years. I'm gonna do a pan for my wonderful neighbor who brings me a newspaper every day because I'm too cheap to buy my own because they went up from, I don't know, 75 cents or something up to $1.50. And I'm too cheap to pay $1.50 a day. All right, so once again, this doesn't have that much sugar in there. Don't like to eat too much of that. Doesn't matter who you are, it's not really that good for you. As I mentioned, a really good alternative is maple syrup. All right, so I'm gonna throw these in the oven. I've got a little convection oven, and I'm gonna put them in there at 375 degrees for an hour. All right, and I will cover them because the oats will burn if you don't. And it'll keep the steam in and cook the apple better. Okay, I'm just going to use some tin foil because, like I said, I'm too cheap to fire up a whole oven. So I've got my little trusty convection oven. This will fit in there just nicely. And when it's cooked, we'll show you what it looks like. All right, it's all ready to go now. I just took it out of the oven a little while ago, and we'll have a look. All right, this is a one-man show, so I'm doing all the camera work and such myself. So I mentioned I was cheap here, so we're running this on a cheap budget. Okay, my best guess is I paid maybe maybe $1, $1.50 for all the ingredients. Probably closer to $1 because honestly, the apples I got for next to nothing. Hope you enjoy this and play with it. You can add as much sugar as you like, or what kind of sugar you want. You can do anything you want with this. It's really, really simple. And as I mentioned, I'm no oil, plant-based, so we don't use any oil or butter or anything like that in here. It's much better for you, your heart, and everything else. H&W Produce is located at 3508 32nd Avenue Northeast, right beside the Salvation Army thrift store.